tell us the impact that has been on your community over the last few weeks with what's been playing out, not just from the horrific brutality of those terror attacks on Israel on October the 7th, but, you know, the events since then, the evidence that has come out of what happened, but also the reaction of many people here in the UK to those events. What's the impact been?
The impact is obviously not easy. These are very difficult times for the Jewish communities here in Britain, in the UK. I can talk for some of the people in our community and people that we represent through the JCC. What people say is words needs to match actions. And when they say that, we have all these different lovely statements coming out from the police. And I'm not here trying to, slander the police or anything, because we actually commend them for the work that they're doing. They did brilliant work in, adding additional patrols to the local streets in the Jewish communities. And in normal times, they're very, very helpful. But what we saw this past Saturday, a parade of anti-Semitism on the streets of London, Met officers just turning a blind eye and smiling to some people, waving ISIS flags, saying some of the most vile comments on Jewish people. And these are the type of questions people have. And what people also ask me, and I can talk again for the people that we represent through the JCC, we always hear where the story begins. We hear there has been a rise in anti-Semitism. People in my community have been verbally attacked, viciously attacked. We had schools vandalized in our community, but we never hear the end result. Have they been prosecuted? Have they been sent to court? Has there been any action taken? And that's where we as a community feel we're lacking the support.
Yeah. You said you yourself have been attacked since October the 7th?
I was last week Thursday. I volunteer for an orphanage group in our community. So we take out young children who sadly lost their parents at a very young age. We took them last week Thursday to a theme park here in London. We had, I don't want to say it on camera, but the amount of abuse that those children were subjected to during that stay at this
you were saying what, passers-by, other people at the theme park, just shouting abuse?
Shouting vile
and at young children?
At young children, yes.
At one point, and did you, I mean, it's just so appalling. What did you report it? And what did the staff at the theme park say?
Nothing at the, I mean, as of now, they haven't come back with any serious response.
Can you name the theme park for us?
Yeah, sorry?
Which theme park was it?
I have to be careful to say it on camera, but I can...
Let's talk about it afterwards. And I would like to help get involved on that, because that is absolutely beyond unacceptable in this country.
At one point, the people, and these are adults, these are not young adults attacking young children. At one point, they were forcing them to say, "Free Palestine." Now, you want to talk to me, I'm an adult.
How old were the children?
Between the age of 10 to 13.
So young children, late primary school, early secondary school, being...
Between the age of 10 and 13.
Adults were goading them on a theme park trip for children who'd been orphaned.
Yes.
This is a week ago in this country.
A week ago, Thursday.
That is absolutely...
We didn't make a big deal out of it.
Really? Because I'd have made a big deal out of it if I'd seen it. Did you feel unsafe? Did you feel unsafe yourself?
Absolutely, we did. Absolutely, we did. Some of the kids actually questioned, should we stay or should we leave? But myself and some of the other volunteers did try to encourage them to say that, we're here with you, we're going to, help you, and you'll enjoy the rest of the day. But what I'm trying to say is this was just one typical story where I personally was involved. But there are so many other stories just in the last couple of days in the community where people feel unsafe. Again, of course, we commend the local police officers for adding additional patrols in the area. But again, I'm coming back to the question where we know something happened, an anti-Semitic incident occurred, people are being attacked. What's the next step? Are police taking action?
And we have seen before, haven't we? I mean, it's very vivid for me when it was nothing as severe as that in terms of the children being involved. But, a year or so ago when we had these horrific anti-Semites driving down a major road in North London, which I happen to live very near, shouting, "We're going to rape your wives and daughters." And I'm thinking, well, those are my friends and my daughter's friends you're talking about. You've made this very personal for me. And again, we saw eventually they were tracked down. I mean, people had videos, they had number plates, they're clearly on video, they were proudly doing it. And yet I think we saw all charges eventually getting dropped by the police. And this is the thing, isn't it? With those children, the Jewish youngsters who were abused on a bus in London, and again, misreporting of that by the BBC, claiming they'd instigated it. They'd done absolutely nothing. Is it your concern that a lot of people in, whether it's the police, whether it's in positions of authority or just the general public, want to turn a blind eye to anti-Semitism? They just don't want to see it? Or do you think they just don't see it?
I don't think they want to turn a blind eye. I think it's for some officers and investigating officers, it's just very complicated and sensitive. They find it very, very sensitive, or they make it complicated. I'm not sure why, but I can tell you again, we have had numerous people in the community reach out to the JCC to tell us that they've received an automated response from the Metropolitan Police to say that their case has been shot 24 hours later without having a proper investigation, without looking into it. The case has automatically been shut. They receive an automated response, and I actually matched up those emails with other emails, and I can see everybody more or less is getting the same response. Can't say everyone, I'm talking about the people that came to us. Some people are being investigated and they are being prosecuted, but too many are just going free.
And the police will say, well, we had no evidence. Well, you didn't look for any evidence. You know, other people, you may know someone there who had good, people. I don't like people standing around videoing things when someone's in trouble, but at least that can sometimes provide some evidence if someone else is at least stepping in. I have to say, I'm so shocked by what you've told us. And I think you'll probably be almost laughing inside about that someone is shocked by that, because it's probably not something that's shocking to you because it's happening more. Do you think that we need to wake up to this in this country and realise that we have a problem and we need to face up to it before we can deal with it?
Absolutely, absolutely. Words, like I said earlier, words need to match actions. And we have, of course, senior politicians, metropolitan officers in the country who they obviously try to do whatever they possibly can to help out, but they're not going far enough. They're saying the right things, but we don't see it in terms of action. And that's where the community, some people in the community, feel let down. They feel that there has to be a more serious response in terms of prosecution, in terms of following on to those cases, making sure that the courts, they end up in the courts and that they come in front of a judge. So that is something which I think is really, really important to
absolutely.
To
well, look,
shed some light on.
I'd like to get in touch with you after the show a little later on. We have a discussion about this because we need to make sure that this never happens again.